Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Hello, everybody. What's up, Bob?
Hey, man. How we doing?
I'm good, dude. How was your 4th of July?
4th was everything it was supposed to be. Just beers by the pool. It was great.
Oh,
we
that's
even got
good.
spared the amateur fireworks because the storms rolled in right before a bunch of old guys would have went out there and did things they would regret anyway. So it was cool.
Hi, Tone.
I'll be back, guys. 1 second.
Yep. So, whatchamacallit? Yeah, I didn't do shit yesterday. We basically just, Karen and I hung out at home all day. And then when the fireworks started, we walked out front, had a nice view to the river, watched the fireworks, went back inside, watched TV, and went to bed. That was basically my entire 4th of July.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I hope everybody had a good 4th. What are you going to say, Bobby?
I was going to say it beats dealing with any type of fucking traffic. You know, obviously I'm from where you are. I keep tabs on all that shit. This looked like a very, very bad year for people driving. I think because it was so excessively hot. Got a lot more day trippers.
Yes.
It looked insane.
It was ridiculous. And it was fucked up because, like, I had to go down to LBI on Saturday morning. And it took me on 72 from Manahawkin just to get over the bridge, probably. And this was like 8 o'clock in the morning, probably about 40 minutes. And then when I was heading home back to TR, I mean, it was fucking bumper to bumper from Ron John Surf Shop all the way up 72, like to the Parkway. I don't, and people just sit in that fucking traffic for hours just to get to the beach. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I saw one line that was like 2 miles back, maybe more, of Island Beach State Park. You know, when it's closed, like when you're that far back, like how many parking spots do you think you're going to open? Like you're sitting in that for hours just to get
exactly.
Stupid. I tell people all the time too. I'm like, no, I live there. I didn't go there on the 4th of July. Like we didn't cross the bridge on the 4th. Are you crazy?
Nope. I mean, other to work. That's it. That's the only reason. Right. Not to go play. Definitely not. Hi, Tone.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
How are you?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. I know you
got a hum going on, and you.
I celebrated not being in the country anymore. So there you go.
You're hearing a hum, Bobby? Is that what you said?
I was, yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Background. All right, I think we're good now.
So okay. Actually, this is a good place to start from Jeff here. He writes: the Wild supposedly made a call on Jack. Must mean negotiations aren't going so hot for Quinn. Now, I have kept seeing like no definitive reports on that. It's a lot of like Minnesota Wild podcasters and stuff talking about like it's Dylan Larkin, but then there's a few that are talking about Jack. And I just find that completely insane. And to me, that's exactly what I got out of it. The same thing Jeff did. Like, is this meaning, because we found out, right? Like right before the trade was made for Quinn to Minnesota that he had called Fitz about Luke, apparently, that he was going to try and use Luke, I guess, to lure Quinn to Minnesota, ended up getting him anyway. And now he's trying to lure Jack to Minnesota to try and get Quinn to stay. Like the idea that Jack Hughes is going to get traded to Minnesota is completely obscene. It's fucking ridiculous. Like the Devils are not. No, they don't. Yes, you're right. They don't have the assets. Number one, that you would want for I mean, let's be realistic. He's top 10 player in the fucking NHL. You're not going to. You don't have the assets. And if you did give up everything of what Jack is worth, your team basically has 2 Quinn boys on it, and that's it.
Right, and this is the type of deal, if it were even talked about. And listen, they may have just candidly on the phone said, hey, any chance? And they're both like, no, fuck off. You know what I mean? But yeah. if there was a deal ever going to happen, this is where they would overpay drastically. This isn't like we're going to make a hockey move. This would be like, no, you're overpaying drastically because you want Jack and your team to support Quinn. So it's not going to happen. It's just fluff.
Yeah, I think that, first of all, I thought about this when I saw this article or this tweet, whatever it was. And I would be pissed. I don't even know. It would, I don't think it's not even thinkable. Why would you ever do that? As an organization, as the Devils, if you want to, I don't know, if Jack got traded, I got to be honest. I know we all get pissed when things don't work out. You get a little frustrated sometimes, but I would be devastated. I think it would be awful for the organization. It would just be bad. And I don't even, I just can't even believe it that there's even a thought about it going on. I mean, this is 2026 and anybody can be traded, anybody can go anywhere. But I will say this: I think the Devils you can't do that. I mean, Jesus, could you? It was so bad for the team's morale and the fans' morale, in my opinion.
There's not a chance. There is a 0 chance, in my opinion, absolute zero.
-1.
Yes, that Sunny Mehta would ever trade Jack Hughes now. Okay, 3 years from now, who knows where this team's going to be with a 4-year contract that he's.
You know whose fault this is, though, Chris? It's all Fitzgerald's fault. Because if we would have got Quinn last year, we wouldn't have to worry about this. This is gonna be like an effect of like years to come, possibly. Like if this lingers on for 3 or 4 years, this is all going to be because of one thing that you could have got him, I believe, if you really wanted him at one point. And
Right. Absolutely.
The other thing is we can just start to, and by we I mean like the organization and people at large. We can just start to worry about the things that they can control, right? Which is like who's on the roster right now, and the fact that at any time the Devils can re-up Jack Hughes. At any time they can say, "Hey, I know your contract's he's getting like 8 something now, right?"
Yeah,
right?
eight
I mean,
half, I think.
Hey, Jack, you know what? Everybody's making 18 now. We're gonna extend you for 18 a year, 5 years. Just dangle that. Like at any time, he's a controllable asset. So if Quinn ever comes here, because the circumstances lined up as such. Otherwise, just forget about it right now.
I'll say this: there is, if I have to put money on it, all right, of all three Hughes brothers playing together, it's either going to happen in New Jersey or it's going to happen in a team other than Minnesota or New Jersey down the road, right? It's just I don't see a world because Luke isn't going anywhere. Like Luke is locked up for 7 years. He's not going anywhere. Jack's locked up for 4. This to me is Billy Guerin, who the more and more that I keep watching this guy as GM, he is Tom Fitzgerald incarnate. He's the exact type of GM, right? Like they make one big move, right? The Timo Meier move, the Quinn Hughes move. And then everything else, they're coming in second in, right? It's every day. Oh, they have their toes. They're dipping their toes in the water on this guy. They're checking the temperature on this guy. And nothing ever happens. And I'm like, this is, I think him and Tom Fitzgerald are like the same mindset when it comes to managing. So this is, I think, probably Minnesota's PR team, their management, like dropping that. To just have people talk about Jack coming to Minnesota to maybe I said it before and I still stand by until it's done. I do not think Quinn signs the extension. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think with all these players that are demanding where they go and stuff, and the Hughes boys, we all know they're not like that. They're not the Kachucks, right?
What I do think is that if Quinn does sign the extension, then I think not this year, but I think we're in trouble then. I think there's some issues if he does sign an extension. I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up playing together there one day.
I know that
if he signs the extension. I
know that they all want to play together, but I also don't think that this is something that is a deal breaker either way. Like if the Devils go on to win a Stanley Cup in a couple of years, and they do it without Quinn and the team looks great, like I could totally see Jack finishing his career here or staying, if he's getting his money or whatever. I mean, look, if either team is shit in the bed in the next year or two and they're not making any progress, they're all going to want out. Not just,
not Nico,
Jack. No, Nico's here.
Our boy.
Here.
I've also said,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've also said this a ton of times on the show. Listen, these salaries keep going north. They will always continue to go north. And the agent's job is always to get players like their top dollar. And that's the agent's talk in the players here. So, yeah, I know a player might say, hey, just give me 3 years because I want to get out of here and maybe play with my brother in 3 years. Or it could be like, yeah, you could do that, but they also want to sign you for 18 by 8. So go ahead and make that decision right now. You know what I mean? There's just so much at play. That's why I think if it lines up, all 3 Hughes brothers would love to play with each other, but I still think in a vacuum, they are each responsible for kind of their own destiny and maximizing their potential. You're only playing hockey for a few years. Relatively
I would
speaking.
love to be a fly on the wall in Jack and Luke's lunch, hanging out, like just to hear what because they're talking. I mean, come on, like you always hear like these athletes or musicians. Oh, we don't talk about that word again. Oh, bullshit. It's like us guys. If we got together, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was work? Oh, this fucking sucked. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like same shit. It's the same shit. There's no difference.
Are Jack and Luke sitting in the boat right now in Lake Michigan with Quinn, going, dude, just force your ass to Jersey. Like everyone else is doing it, man.
That's
Sonny will,
It's
Sonny
2 against
will pull
1,
the trigger.
bitch.
Yeah. Just force it.
think of this too. Like, okay, let's say he does a 3-year extension, to quote unquote line up with Jack.
Right.
Everybody's worried about, okay, so now let's say within the next 3 years, we win a cup or we're closer to winning a cup and Minnesota's just first round and out. And now it's time for them to decide which team they want to play for. Like a team that just made it to the finals, hypothetically, of course, or Minnesota, because that's where Quinn is. Like there's just so many things. It doesn't matter. And I think we're going to have more success than Minnesota in the short term moving forward.
Yes, I do too. And I think Quinn is, if he does sign the extension, it's not going to be right away. I think he's waiting to see what the team does. Right now, they haven't gotten any better. I mean, they brought Blake Coleman in, and I don't know what 30 whatever year old Blake Coleman still has in the tank, but I mean, we like the guy. We wanted him 2 years ago, not really now.
I
But
wish I'd take him still. But
I know you love Blake.
I like his style of play. I like his just the way he controls the ice. I don't know. He had both some offensive shit to him and also stick up for his teammates and stuff.
And now Dubs for life, he writes, Devil fans need to let go of the Quinn thing. Hellebuck or a goal-scoring winger is the priority, not Quinn. I agree with that 100%, but it doesn't change the fact that there is still a Norris Trophy top 2 or 3 defenseman in the freaking world that we could possibly get. And I just don't think it's not likely, but it's still a possibility and fun to talk about. The guy's too good to not talk about him possibly becoming the Devil. But he brings up Hellebuck. And that brings up the Rittich signing, right? We just get Big Save Dave. Strike that. Reverse it. To come over from, where was he? Now, he was on the island, right? And he comes to Jersey. So now we have 3 goaltenders, Rittich, Dawes, and Allen. Is this our trio/duo going into the season, guys?
You have to hope not. Let's be honest. I mean, we all like Dawes and stuff, but you have to hope not, right? I mean, again, there's a reason. Knock on something that I'm wrong, and I would love to be wrong about this if this is the tandem we go with. But I even remember when he was available and no one took him. I like Dawes, but Dawes.
Oh, you're talking about Dawes when he was on waivers,
Dawes.
right?
Yeah, when he's on waivers, no. And there's got to be a reason behind that. And I like him. Do you really want that to be? If I said to you last week of this past season when we're down and out, life sucks. We know we're not going. It's been an annoying fucking year. And I tell you that Dawes is going to be your starter coming next year. What would you say that last week of the season? The same thing you should say now because it's not what you want. You just don't.
It's the same thing I think we said when we were going into the season with Vanacek and Schmidt. You can't do it, right? I don't think Sunny Mehta comes in and kind of revamps this room. Even in the few moves he's made, this team does look very different, and they do seem they're going to be a lot better. And to go into the season with those guys as your 3 goalies, like Nico Dawes is unproven. We don't know if he can be a starter, if he can take the 50 games a year, or whatever it is. Dave Rittich, really? Is he the answer? And look, Jake Allen, best backup, one of the best backups in the NHL. Jake Allen is going to give you, you start Jake Allen 25 games a year, 30 games a year. He's going to give you 25, 30 really solid starts. If you start him 40 or 50 games a year, he's going to give you 25 or 30 really solid starts. Like, that's just Jake Allen. Like, let's not put too much on his plate. But I agree with you, Tony. This is not a goaltending trio at this point that I'm very comfortable going into the season with. How about you, Bobby?
I'm very confused by this move. Mehta went on to say, kind of like we talked about in the previous show, that there is a potential path for Dawes. He's been quote unquote blocked, so that conventional wisdom would have been they're going to try to go with him. You got Jake Allen to kind of back him up. Great backup to have, as we discussed, right? So why you bring in Rittich? So either you bring him in because you're not really that secure. You're not rolling 3. I don't care what. They're not rolling 3. So is Rittich the backup plan if things don't go well for Dawes? Because now you have him, and those are your 2, Allen and him. Or is he the guy who's just going to be released should Dawes do well? I don't think he's going after a goalie now based on what he said. And then he goes out and gets a 3rd goalie. So based on what he said and getting a 3rd goalie, I don't think it's like I'm still working on the Hellebuck deal. Like, So that's why it confuses the hell out of me. But I think they're going to go in with the three of them, and I think Riddick could just be okay. Good, we're stabilized, and now we're going to let you go.
I did see a report that it's Carolina and Buffalo right now are like the top two to get Hellebuck, but again, that doesn't mean shit. There's always that one team that flies in under the radar and scoops up players.
Yeah, Chris, I think I said the other day, just with us guys going back and forth too, is you're going to we'll figure this out. Like, if you say that is the goaltending tandem going into the beginning of the season, you'll know in week 2 or 3 if it's a total disaster, because it'll be pretty evident right away, I believe, so I think it is going to be the goaltenders, because I was watching the press conference the other day with him and with Sunny, and you didn't get the vibe. You got the vibe that there may be not many more additions coming, maybe a 1 or 2 little moves, but it kind of felt like this is where we're going to go into camp with.
I see.
Tim said he could be putting on his poker face too.
Well, that's what, you have to keep that in mind too.
But yeah, it's now again, Dawes this year. Dawes can go down, right? So everything I just said stands, because Dawes go down, you run the other two, and next year he can't. So again, like I that's what I think. I think that he's just kind of the backup plan, and if things go south, he's one of our starting goalies, and if things go well and Dawes is taking it, he will be released somewhere in the middle of the year.
Well, if you look at the Winnipeg Jets right now, they have Stuart Skinner and Connor Hellebuck. That's their duo. That's about I think a little over $12 million a year on goaltending. Stuart Skinner played in 2 cup final, and Hellebuck, we know how good he is, but Stuart Skinner actually does have real legitimate playoff success. Could be a number 1. Is Winnipeg really going to roll with those two? Like, the signing Skinner to me means that they are going to get rid of Hellebuck. Now, if you want to get like really deep into it, they're going to need a backup, right? So did Mehta to make a move, bring Riddick in, saying, okay, maybe they want Dawes. We can send Dawes to Winnipeg, part of a package to get Hellebuck in Jersey. And then I have Riddick, who at least can go down and play in the A right now and get his work in, or maybe he's another trade asset down the road, or whatever the case is. I just don't think that there are other guys. It's not just Hellebuck.
And I don't think Hellebuck's coming here. I really don't. Like,
you're probably right. I wouldn't be shocked if he does, though. That's a good question. What's the remaining cap room if the offer sheet goes through for
I don't know.
Hayden? I don't know. Maybe
I thought I heard
Tim,
it was still like $7 million or something.
Maybe Tim can look that up for us. Oh wait, Tim has no power, like half of the East Coast, so he's not here. But speaking of offer sheets, let's discuss this Leo Carlson.
Let's
sheet.
do that.
So I don't even know. I know about this, but I didn't pay attention to this. So I'm going to kind of learn more of it from you guys. I saw it, but I just saw a bunch of memes all over the place and didn't really pay too much attention.
Well, let me paint the picture. Pat Verbeek and Danny Briere are in the middle of a whose dick is bigger contest, and Leo Carlson is the recipient of this because he is now the highest paid player in the NHL. So there's so many layers to this, right? So Philadelphia, we know what happened with the Cutter Gauthier thing, right? When Gauthier was in college and said he didn't want to play for Torts and he didn't want to play for the Flyers, and so they shipped him to Anaheim. I think it was for Jamie Drysdale. Maybe there was some other pieces involved that I don't know about, but the main ones were Drysdale for Cutter Gauthier. So then, like, when the 2 times a year they play, the 1 time a year they play in Philly, like the Philly fans hate them and they're always whatever. So Briere and Pat Verbeek have had this problem with each other. So Briere offer sheeted Leo Carlson a 5-year, $90 million contract. It averages to $18 million a year, making him the highest paid player in the league, right? Look, I love Leo Carlson. I think he's a heck of a player. He's only 21 years old. He's got a huge upside. The kid's good, but $18 million a year is a lot of money. So no, he's not worth 18 mil. It's ridiculous. And when it first, so now Pat Verbeek and the Ducks have a week, which I believe it happened on Friday, I think. So they have till Friday, 7 days to match the offer. If they don't match the offer, then Leo Carlson becomes a Philadelphia Flyer. If they do match the offer, he stays in Anaheim. But either way, his contract moving forward is 5 years, $90 million. Whether it's Anaheim or Philly that pays him, that's what Carlson's going to get.
We need him to stay in Anaheim. So,
well, at first, and I texted you guys like when it first happened, and I was like, I can't see a world where the Ducks actually match this because it is so obscene, right? Like it is a ridiculous amount of money. And you always hear stories about how much of a pain in the ass Pat Verbeek is to deal with for an agent and players. Like he is cutthroat, doesn't want to give a nickel. And if he could save it, he will. So like he could have gotten this deal done for like 10, 11 million last year. And he put it off, and they negotiated because Verbeek's got to always get the best friggin' price for his guys. And another team just swooped in and said, if you're not going to pay him, we'll pay him 18. So now the more I think about, like, I'm a complete opposite mindset. I don't know how Anaheim doesn't match it. Like, you can't let this dude walk out of your building. You just made the playoffs. He is part of your major plan. Now, maybe he threw that plan. Maybe that plan now has a giant monkey wrench in it because your salary cap just got blown up, and maybe you're not going to be able to sign certain people to the numbers that you wanted to sign them for. So either they're going to have to take less, or you might have to move off of a couple of guys. So it comes down to, what do you want? Do you want Leo Carlsson long-term, or do you want to take these 4 magic beans that you have, those first-round draft picks, and hope to draft a number 1 centerman? Like, everyone tries to do that. And, 32 teams don't have a number 1 center. Legitimate number 1 center. So in my opinion, yes, Verbeek is going to match it. And otherwise, I think the Ducks are really like taking 10 steps back. But
crazy.
Bob, what do you think of the whole situation?
Okay, first of all, I absolutely hate this offer. I think it's everything that could be wrong with the sports, and I'll circle back to that in a second. As far as what I heard, that the Ducks may have been in the camp of like 15 million for this dude. So if they had any mega plans and they're circling the guys, and when everybody becomes, going up in price, I don't think it alters it that much. Another 3-ish, 4 million for this guy. Like, they have a lot of cap room. So I think someone said like $45 million. Like, they've got the room, and this is a guy they want to keep. So I'm with you now. At first, I thought this is ridiculous. They're going to keep it. I'm with you now. I think that they kind of have to match it. They don't have to match it, but they kind of have to match it to kind of save face. But what I can't stand is the ridiculousness of this. So the Flyers had to do their job, and I get that, right? So you got to look at the player and say, if what I heard on whatever extra, if they were in the camp of 15+ million and he hasn't signed anything yet, if that's a true kind of rumbling out there, so then the Flyers got to look, all right, I got to go over that, right? Makes sense. I got to make it attractive enough for the player to want to come and the team not to match. I just think they escalated that too high, too quick. This is not the best player in the league that should be getting this kind of money. They just jumped the salary acceleration by about 3 years for every other player now. And I think that's very irresponsible, because all we're hearing all the time now is the cap's going up. So everybody's already thinking forward, and I'm already going to overpay for this and overpay for that. So the teams that are on the cusp that can finally spend a little more to get further along, we're getting there. The teams are right about to pop, are ready to kind of spend their money, all based on this forecast. And now you just come in and you just go way over the top for a player who's not top 10, making that kind of money. Now you got Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes probably pumping the brakes, go, whoa, damn, I thought I was getting 17. I guess I'm getting 20 now. And don't tell me it doesn't happen, because that's what their agents are telling them. Everything's a comp. So now every comp is going to be based on this guy. So now everybody's team salary cap has just escalated through the roof because of one team that wanted to get him. So I can't stand it.
And for Philly, if they get him, it might, could be. I hate to see it happen. Could be good for them. I mean, it's a ballsy move.
It would.
It's a ballsy move that.
Super ballsy move.
Yeah,
super ballsy move. That
it could work out for them. See what we're talking about next playoffs if they do pull this off. It might be. It's fucking crazy. Oh, Chris, your volume's off, I think.
Yep, accidentally hit mute. I don't want to deal with Leo Carlsson in this division.
No.
Period. I want to see him twice a year, maybe in Stanley Cup final again. We'll do that. But Bob, you're 100% right as far as what this means to other teams and the escalation of the salary cap and everything. But this happened in the NFL too. And everybody thought the same exact thing you're thinking now, that this just broke the bank. And when it was, and Tony, you'll remember this, when Deshaun Watson got traded from Houston to Cleveland, Now, I know Deshaun Watson is a much more polarizing figure. The guy had like 50,000, charges against him for trying to get masseuses to jack him off, whatever it is. But regardless, they traded him for a boatload of first-round picks, I believe 4 first-round picks to Cleveland, and Cleveland guaranteed him over $200 million. That was the contract, over $200 million, fully guaranteed. And the rest of the NFL just went, what the hell did Cleveland just do? They just completely blew up our quarterback salary cap and how we're going to tier guys, because right around that point is when the next guy up was getting the most amount of money, no matter if you were a top flight guy or a mid-range guy, right? Like we saw Tua Tagovailoa sign for 50 in Miami. We saw Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville sign for like 50. I believe like Jordan Love for like 50. These are guys that should not be making that kind of money. I mean, Tua is not even on Miami anymore. So everyone thought that was what was going to happen, that these mid-range guys, right, like the Tuas and the Baker Mayfields, and those guys are all going to end up now making these ridiculous $60-70 million contracts a year because of what Cleveland did. But the NFL and the owners basically got together and said, fuck Cleveland, we're not going to do that. And they basically kind of put in a middle tier for these mid-range quarterbacks that now like between 30 and 40 million. The guys, like we said, like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, those dudes are going to get, they're not going to get Mahomes and Burrow money, Josh Allen money, but they're going to get the next step down. There was no step down until that Deshaun Watson trade kind of blew things up.
Imagine how many hand jobs you could buy with that.
A lot of hand jobs.
Yeah,
a lot of hand jobs.
Yeah.
They're the cheaper of the jobs.
They really are.
I mean,
they're the cheaper of the jobs.
I don't know, 20
They're the
bucks,
less intimate ones. So yeah, I mean, so is that what's going to happen in the NHL, where like the ownership is now going to finally get together and be like, you know what, we're not going to pay. I mean, Minnesota kind of did it, right, with Kirill. He got the $18 million deal for a winger. Granted, he's fantastic, but I thought that was a ridiculous contract when they signed it. But we haven't seen anything up to the Leo Carlson thing that matched that. So I do think that there are some teams that are you're going to have the idiot teams that are going to overpay for players. And if Leo Carlson doesn't end up being what the Philly gets him, if not what they expect, or he doesn't live up to that contract, it's a hard contract to live up to. Philly's going to be in a world of hurt with that kind of number.
Celebrating Bobby Bonilla Day.
Bobby Bonilla Day, exactly.
Definitely, every team has a time and place to overpay, and I applaud that because it puts your franchise in motion. If you're going a certain direction, sometimes you have to do that. I'm great with that. I think sometimes like this, it's just overboard. And I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping this should be the anomaly, right? This should not automatically set the new norm. This should be, hold on, pump the brakes. You guys want to spend recklessly? That's fine. For the rest of us, we're still going to, put it on this borderline and say, no, these are what the players are worth. I hope that's what happens. And again, I don't begrudge this kid for making the money. Good on him, right? He impressed him. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking about our team. That's all I care about. And I'm thinking about where we already sit relative to the salary cap max and what we have coming up. Look at how hard it is to field a really good team. We've got Jack Hughes on an $8 million a year thing, and we still suck. We don't suck. I mean, we
kind of sucked.
Could have had a better fate last year.
Yeah. Well, last year was terrible.
Think about when he needs $20 million a year, and you have to have that revolving door of talent coming in, and I just don't appreciate these skips in salary. So I hope you're right. I hope it stays less. But I have another question. I'm hoping either you guys, it's probably more of a Tim question, but either you guys or maybe somebody in the chat that's smarter than us can help answer this. I'm looking at his breakdown of salary, Carson.
Oh, right? It's very front loaded heavy, right?
So explain this to me, right? So year one, and it's pretty much like this 1 through 5. The salary is between $850,000 and it goes up to $1 million. That's his actual salary for the 5 years. So the remaining are bonuses. Right. So like the first year, it's like a $20 million bonus and an 18, then a 7 or whatever it is. So not from the lens of like a CFO. Like, I don't want to know how this helps the business from like the books. I want to know how a contract like that helps hockey ops in relation to the cap and everything. And if it doesn't, why is it even there? Like, is there a hockey operations point to this? Or is this just a CFO saying, hey, we can't afford it unless you structure it like this?
Well, I think that that's probably it. I don't know if there's like a hockey op reason of why they do it. I think that because I know like in the NFL, and we're not salary cap experts or anything, but they'll either front load contracts or they make things into signing bonuses and all this stuff. So it's and it goes against the cap the same as far like he gets his money no matter what. So the first year he's going to get that money, but I think by doing it that way, it allows you to spread it out throughout the 5 years where you can. So he's going to get all that money the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year. But on their books, it'll only be 18 million per year. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So again, so even if let's say he gets 1 million salary and 17 million bonus every year, make it simple.
Right.
Why?
Like
you're still paying 18 million a year to a player. What is the financial benefit to the team of doing this? Or is there a hockey ops benefit? I don't understand.
Well, I think that it's probably they do it that way so they can give him the most of his money, so they don't have to pay him 18 million every year. Like, hey, we have a lot of cap space this year. Let's pay Leo X amount, 37 or 38 million dollars of it. I think is like coming from the first couple of years. Am I wrong about that? It's like a ridiculous number.
20 million and 18.1, 38.1 million in the first
in 2 years,
and then it's 17 million, 15 and 15. So
17, 15, and 15. Yeah, I don't know.
Basically, that 1 million split that I just said is basically that. So if the cap is still 18 million, again, what are they banking on the dollar being worth more or less in 5 years? If the cap's going up, that doesn't affect this. His cap hit will be 18 million, correct?
Yeah,
like no matter what,
it'll be no matter what it'll be.
And financially, they're still paying 18 million a year, although one in a bonus and one in a salary. Is it the smallest of tax implications? Maybe it doesn't.
It's got to be a reason that they do it that way.
Sure the players love it.
Imagine being that player and waking up in the morning and finding that out, being like, "Oh shit," like he's winning either way. I mean,
Leo Carlson gets a call from his agent going, "Yeah, you just got offer sheeted for 18 million a year." Like, yeah, send it to my house. I will sign it in blood right now.
Exactly. Like, who am I playing with?
Yeah, it's the biggest fan in the world. Like,
I mean, and it could be a way that they do it so the player, like Robbie's bench toss is saying, the player gets more money up front. So it's just a way that they can situate it so the player can get his money up front, and that way I don't know what I know
the player gets more money up front in terms of, hey, your first paycheck, here's 18 million, and then for the rest of the year you're getting a division of 850,000, right? But I also know in my world, which is I make almost that, that your bonuses are taxed like a motherfucker. Yeah, bonuses are taxed to hell. So does it not work like that because you're in sports and entertainment? Like, I would think that 17 million in bonus is actually taxed higher than his salary if it were an 18 million salary. So I think the benefit has to come down to tax for the organization to save money. Probably the player. Like, the player would love to have. So you could send me that check for 18 million.
Yeah, they don't care. They're going to get the money.
That's a problem. I'd love to have.
Yeah. Like in the NFL, players get their contracts restructured all the time, and most of the players don't even have to agree to it. It just gets restructured whether the team moves some of the money they owe you, add on extra years, void years, things like that. The players don't give a shit. They're getting their money, so they're going to get paid whether or not you end up putting it on your books for an extra 3 years. That's on you. Now, I'm getting my X amount a year.
From a player perspective, I do also understand this may be the reason why they do this, just to make it attractive to the player. Hey, you've got the money right now, and whatever month they get it, August. You go ahead and invest it however you want. Now you're investing 18 million instead of a million a month. Boy, what problems you have.
I know.
It's kind of like if you win the Powerball, right? You could take the cash, or you can get the annuity. You take the cash, do what you want with it. You'll get less, but you have the chance to make it triple and quadruple. But I just find it odd that these offer sheets and these new salaries do this a lot, now, and the organization's still got to pay it.
Now, I know that like in the NFL, they have like something called cash over cap or something. So like how it works, and I don't know exactly, and I'm probably butchering this, but to some point, like, so if you are offering a player certain money, let's say it is over the cap, right? Like you end up over the cap with that money. The owners have to put that money, that cash, in escrow, and then somehow you have to get under the cap, but they have to show that they have that money. And maybe that may be for like big signing bonuses and stuff, like where the owners actually have to take that, put it in escrow, so it's guaranteed that it's there. I don't know. I could, like I said, could completely be messing that up, but like maybe somebody else was right, and like they kind of screwed Anaheim too, because now Anaheim has to take a lot of cash out if they match this to pay him all this money up front. So
it could be another tactic there. Okay,
it could be another tactic there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I would
that's
think
what
the Flyers in general have more money in their franchise than Anaheim. Like I would just evaluations and all that. I would assume.
Well, that was part of the Joe Sakic when they remember when the Rangers offer sheeted Sakic back in like whatever year, like the late 90s or whatever, and it was some ridiculous contract. And they the way that they set that offer sheet up was a shitload of cash up front because they knew that Colorado at the time was
much harder time.
Yeah, they were bleeding money. So and then Colorado actually went out and they did a whole bunch of shit and ended up getting the money and signing him. But that's why the Rangers did it.
Well, I think we've answered this 2 or 3 ways, actually. I think we kind of came out with.
I don't know if any of them are right, but
they sound really good.
And that's another. Kyle makes another good point. Also helps with dealing the players later on because new ownership doesn't have to pay him as much. So that later tax years. So if you trade for Leo Carlson 3 years from now, you're getting him for $14 million.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, that's just bad business. If you're paying 95% of this guy out before you're trying to trade more, 80%,
and you trade him.
Your organization sucks for doing that. That's bad move. But I do understand that from a player movement standpoint. Yeah.
So there was a great article, and we're not going to go too deep into it, but I will recommend that anybody to please read it because I thought it was fantastic. It was
is that the one you sent to us yesterday?
No, I don't think I sent you guys this one. Okay. Hang on.
What, Water Park Shark?
Someone said something.
Oh, how great does that look?
I didn't watch it.
Water Park Shark looks like the greatest movie ever. I cannot wait to see that.
Only in the way that Sharknado was the greatest movie ever until Sharknado 2 came out and then Sharknado 3.
I love when they're like directed by they give the name who directed
Tara Reid's in it.
Sharknado 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8.
Yeah. It has to look like the most ridiculous movie ever. Hence,
there are
really great
white sharks attacking people down water slides. How cool is that? I highly recommend
in here.
Go on to YouTube
from a Sharknado
and watch the commercial for Water Park Shark. It looks great.
I have a question for you guys really fast before we go on. So we're going to this beach town, this beach resort like next week with our kids. So I usually I show my kids Jaws before because they always have a problem with them trying to go in the ocean. So I don't want them to go in the ocean. So my wife gave me shit because I show them Jaws before we go and they don't go in the ocean. You know, they don't like yeah, do you guys think that's not too bad? Jaws is, it's not too bad, man.
Well, I could see where it scares the shit out of kids, especially when
they don't go deep in
little landlocked countries in Eastern Europe. Yeah, I can see where the ocean would scare the crap out of them.
Sharks not a problem. Drones are here. It's like...
Dude, that's
all right. Man. Let me go just real quick.
Tara Reid is
Tara Reid. Oh, what a mess she is.
If she's in a movie now, though, it's probably like a Sharknado. I mean, let's be honest. Or like,
that's all you're gonna see her in.
Yeah.
So Chris Fieldhouse from All About the Jersey wrote this article. He titled it "In Exercise and Analytics, What Would the Ideal Devils Forward Lineup Be?" So he took the players that we have on the roster right now, along with Baron Hayden, figuring that Utah. I'm guessing Utah's probably not matching that. He most likely will become a Devil next week. But so he goes through pretty much every line and most of the players, and he dives deep into their analytics and what they do good and what they're not so good at, and then he pairs up the lines accordingly. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it was a really good article, and he ended up with these as the final lines. And I'm curious what you guys think. And like I said, if you want to see how he got there, you can go read the article.
I had this on my list too, so let's see what we got. Not this article, just my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. So the first line, it's not line one, it's just the first line. So it's Nico Hischier centering Timo Meier and Arseny Gritsuk.
Let's snort that line.
Where's Meier? Left wing?
Meier's on the right. Gritz is on the left. Nico's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has Jack Hughes centering Jesper Bratt on the right, Cody Glass on the left. Baron Hayton centering the third line with Evan Rodriguez on the right and Dawson Mercer on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And his final line is Bukestad centering Brown on the right and Nason on the left. And that leaves Hamaniho, Amadeus Lombardi. Well, that would be those two guys, or would be the two roster players right now that would be left off. So what do you guys think of the Gritzio Keisher Meyer line?
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about
I'm
today.
down with that.
I'm looking at it going right now. If you go to whatever I'm on, Puckpedia or some shit, like they've got Mercer penciled in there on the right wing, first line, and I just think that's wrong. I think for the player you're going to get, if you can take a guy like Grits, let him go, first line type of minutes. I would put him on that same top line on the left wing, shooting left. I put Meyer on the right side, taking his off wing shot like he liked. Again, two camps on that. Some say it doesn't matter at all. Others say it matters. I've always said it matters. So that's exactly what I want from the first line. Second line, what did he have? He had
Hughes, Glass, and Bratt. And he had the reasons, but he says that Glass gives you a lot of net front, high cycle chances. So having Glass who can get in front plus take faceoffs as well, really good at faceoffs, and you're not just depending on Glass to be that shutdown line. You're actually going to be using him for some offense. So he has Glass, Hughes, and Bratt.
And he did have Brown on the third, then, right? You did say
on
Brown?
The fourth. He had Brown on the fourth.
Okay.
With Bukestad and Nason.
Yeah, I'm going to keep Brown where he is on the second line with Jack and Bratt. I'm going to let that cook a little bit longer. So that would put Hayden centering with Mercer on the left and A-Rod. He's perfect on the right. I would probably push Bukestad out for Glass centering the fourth line and then keep Jesper Bratt and Stefan Nason if he's still here.
Okay, so your third line would be Hayton, Rodriguez, and Glass or Brown? Brown, right?
Wait, who am I missing? No, Mercer.
So where's Connor Brown?
Still on the second line with Jack.
Okay. So that's where you're putting him. Okay.
Tone, and remember, I steadfast believe that where Connor Brown belongs in the proper assignment to me is that third line. But as constructed, that's where I would keep him unless we actually go out and get a sniper. And that changes the whole thing.
I think a Hayton, Brown, Rodriguez line could be really friggin' dangerous.
Good.
I agree with Chris on this. Yeah. I love this Rodriguez edition.
Yeah, I do too, dude. It's huge. It is. I don't know if Devil fans have really come to terms with just how impactful that dude can be for us. So, I am totally down with that. The fourth line, like, I don't even like that Bukestad. Well, I don't mind Bukestad, but I don't like that Nason's on this team. And then you have Boquist, who are you going to plug? You got to plug him in somewhere, or is he going to be a healthy scratch most nights?
He's another guy that, like, it looks good to bring him back. And I know he evolved his game in certain aspects, but just the same, I could see him like disappearing halfway through the season if he's just not giving us anything of substance, And Nason, which Nason are we going to get? All honesty, like, if we get anything close to the early versions of him, I'm all about it. Always been about the way he plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of done. I think he's kind of cooked. I mean, if he's on the fourth line, then okay, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to see him on power play 1 or any of that stuff anymore. Like, I feel like we have enough talent on this team that we don't need Stefan Nason being our net front power play 1.
I'm hoping he bounces back though, and we get what Carolina got. A
cup,
because
I agree.
He was a solid player, man. The cup, take 2 of those.
Yeah, take a couple of those. I mean, all right. So unfortunately, like, we are gonna I have to get off in like 10 minutes because I gotta do a few things.
We don't want to watch it happen. So,
but let me just do a quick
live.
DraftKings, new DraftKings customers, sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get 200 rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in prediction dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks, expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at DKNGDOTCO/audio. DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. The crown is yours. Okay. So now that that's done. What the heck was I wanting to say? All right. So there's one more move to be made. Let's just say we're speculating, and it is for a sniper or a stud goalie. What do you go after, Tony?
Well, stud goalie. I think I always still believe to this day that you have to have a fucking solid goalie to really win a cup. I even think if you look, so yeah, I'll go with goalie.
What do I want, or what do I think is?
Give me both.
I want the stud goalie. I want Hellebuck on this team, and I think they can not easily, but they could certainly make it happen. We've got the ability to move some other people like on defense, et cetera, where another person can plug in, where I wouldn't have a problem with it at all, with a little bit of subtraction on D to get a guy like Hellebuck. What do I think is more plausible is a sniper, but I just don't believe he's going to do it. Like, I don't believe he's got his eyes on any particular person that's going to come in here and like be that proverbial fit with Jack. So I think our forward group is what it is, which is why I came to the earlier conclusion that I just said. At this point, then, just throw Grits up there and just let him cook. Forget third line Grits. Let's just let him go.
Yeah, I don't think we do anything big either before the season starts. I really don't. I think this is kind of, besides a B-level move or something, maybe if we're lucky, I think. But I think this is kind of what we get. There will be, I think there definitely has to be like one more thing. I just don't know how big it's going to be.
And listen, if a Buffalo or somebody did get Hellebuck, like, I get it. Now there's another goalie that got freed up. And like I said, that's not a splash goalie, though. You know what I mean? I take either one of the guys they have there already, but it's not like getting a Hellebuck, and that would still be an improvement. But no, I want the
worst
big
spot's Carolina, right, Bobby? For him to go, I think for us,
anything they should be done. You won your cup, just get out of the league, just quit. Like, we're leaving the conference.
Tone, I do think that there's a lot of teams that don't believe that you need that stud. And Jay Snow put, Bussy, Hill, Kemper, they're all cup winners. Yeah. None of them are
even Billington, right?
Marty Brodeurs. I mean, Binnington, I think, is better than those three guys. But yeah, back in the day but then you look at those two Florida Cups and they don't do it without Bobrovsky. So you have to have really solid goaltending. That's the problem I have with Dawes and Allen and Riddick is I don't know if it's solid goaltending.
Consistency. Will it crash halfway through?
Yeah, but having Hellebuck, who, I think one of the biggest problems that Hellebuck has had when it came to the postseason and where he didn't have good success was because the guy does play like 70 plus games a year. Like, at his age, whatever he is, 31, 32, I just don't think you can play him 70 games. Like, give him his 55 starts, give Allen, if he was here, the rest, and you go into the playoffs with a fresh Connor Hellebuck. I'm kind of with you though, Tone. Like, we're old school, right? Like, the goaltending position is important and it needs to be solid. And I think if you're Connor Hellebuck, 33, thank you, Jay Snow. If you're 33, if you're Connor Hellebuck, like, the only thing you haven't done is win a cup. And I think he's going to push to get out, whether it's here or Carolina or Buffalo or somewhere else. I think that's a more likely move to happen. And I think that Sunny will probably keep his coffers at least, ready to make a move if something happens throughout the course of the year.
And I would love
Chris, go ahead, Bobby.
I got to reiterate from the last show, certain things are about timing and where you are in the market. And if we got a Hellebuck, we have 3 fine backup options, all making around $1 million, which means our total goalie spend is very much in line with somebody who's got an A and a B, $7 million and a $5 million, or however you're going to slice it. So for that reason, I feel like we can afford him in goal. If we had a $4 million backup, no, maybe that doesn't work. But in this market landscape for us, it works. And this team could benefit from, not having that first soft goal going every time.
I agree. And that's another thing. Like, we have had really bad goaltending, the last handful of years. So I think like a lot of Devil fans are just like, give us somebody that is just reliable, that we know can steal games. And, Connor, of course, he's the main guy. I mean, he's one of the best.
I think what makes me always, a little nervous being the last couple seasons being a Devils fan is there's a couple teams that I've seen that have really already started like packing their team for next year. I mean, first of all, I complained to Chris probably about this. How are you Ottawa and you send a player to Florida? Like, how is this not going to come back to fuck you a million times in the next couple of years? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I just don't understand that whole thing. But obviously Florida's going to be nasty. I know. Yeah. Well, that's the problem though, is you have to figure out a way not to give people It sounds
They
gave
forced
away.
their way there. Like they
Yeah,
forced their
that's what kind
hand.
of
Like
stuff they
that's
did.
the
Yeah,
thing I don't like. Like all
yeah,
three Kachucks, right? Like Daddy
yeah.
and the two mouth
That's what
breathing
I'm saying.
sons. They all forced their way, forced the hand of Ottawa to no. I want to go. I don't. It's not. I want to get traded. I want to go to Florida, and
That's
you
what I
got to
want
make
to
it
do. Yeah.
happen. Otherwise, I'm gonna. You know, he could. It's a captain of your team. You could blow the whole thing up. Like
Yeah,
you can end up going into next year with that hanging over with him still on this team. It would be toxic in that dressing room. So you have to make the move.
You're right. Yeah, but if you look at them, Washington's gotten better in my opinion. They're adding
Oh, a lot
pieces.
better.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the teams are gonna. We'll see what happens with Philly now. But there's going to be teams that are going to be really to hang with these teams. That's where we have to do some moves because I don't think right now, again, like I think we're better than last year. I especially think, there's a lot of things that are going to improve, but the goaltending could be a big, there's a lot of question marks. Put it like this. There's a lot of question marks where everyone's excited because there's a change happening. And there's finally again, a lot of these things we're going to be dealt with this year is probably going to be repercussions of having Fitzgerald make a lot of decisions, so that's going to haunt us a little bit. But I still think, there's got to be some stuff done because teams are getting strong, and the teams that are getting stronger. If Carolina gets Hellebuck, to me, we know what that is. That's a real pain in the ass. And all these
They're
teams
not
are
hard
becoming
enough to play anyway.
Exactly. So it's scary. The teams are getting bigger and badder right now. This off seasons. I'm seeing like 3 or 4 of them just really toning up to be. Maybe one will be a disappointment, right? You never know. But it's not gonna be an easy path next year for us. So
no, it's not. And the Devils, I mean, look, if they don't make any more moves right now, yeah, I agree with you. We're a lot better than we were last year. I mean, I just think Evan Rodriguez makes us that much better. Like, and Baron Hayden makes us that much better. And Gritsuk for a whole year. But we all know what it comes down to, right? Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes have to stay healthy. And we're pretty good on Nico staying healthy. But Jack's got to stay healthy. Like, that's
so much respect
this
for
team
Hischier, man.
will do nothing if Jack plays fucking 35 games. Like, it's just forget it. Like, we need him. It's the most important stat. I say this every summer is not goals, assists, points for Jack Hughes. It's games played. It needs to be 82 or close to that at the before
if it's
the playoffs.
35, we should be calling Minnesota.
Yeah,
hey, remember that Jack talk?
Yeah,
let's go.
Hey, you want him? And watch, win 5 Hart trophies there and stay healthy all year.
And I'm sure you guys mentioned this last episode. I haven't been on for a few, but I just have to say I have so much respect for Nico. To me, he's an example of an old school player. Even with the decisions he makes, puts the team first. I don't care who you are. If you're Nico, there's probably a part of you that realizes, hey, you don't know what's going to happen in New Jersey. There's a question mark for the next couple of years, but he chose New Jersey. And that's where he wants to be. Just like back in the day, you kind of felt like some players wanted to be on the team. So just mad respect. And I hope more players some players take a lesson from that because, that's cool to see. That was that made the week, I'm a little more excited for hockey now, knowing that we got some loyalty in there.
That's how winning teams are made, man.
Yeah.
You get great teams have great players that realize that it ain't all about the bottom dollar. It's close enough. It really is close enough where I can shave a penny here or two to field a good team. So
look, he says all the right stuff. I mean, we praise Nico Hischier on this show all the time, and the guys, I love him. I love that Jack posted right after that the big Nico sign thing, posted that he was excited about that because it's those two. I mean, they're the ones that have to. However far this thing goes, it's going to be on the backs of those two. So it's going to be.
When Jack and Nico come on here, we'll ask them about it.
Yeah, next week.
I think we got them booked for next summer. Just keep logging in until we figure out which day that is.
Not sure what time that is, though. Okay. But unfortunately, guys, I have to cut it a little bit early, which sucks because I'm actually having fun doing this with you guys, and I want to keep talking about more stuff. So maybe we will come back in another day or two when everybody's around. And, of course, if anything happens in Devilland, we will hop on and do a little.
We should know about our offer sheet in a few days, too.
Yeah, I think, what was it, Wednesday? Last Wednesday he made it?
It was the first, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it the first? So, yeah, Wednesday. So, yeah.
Bobby, I'm texting you an offer sheet right now, Bobby.
I don't do that anymore, Tone.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Sunday afternoon. Hope everyone has a safe and fun rest of your holiday weekend. Hit the subscription thingy, the alert bell, all the other fun stuff that goes with it. Tony, Bob, and Chris, we're the Uncle Puckers. Thanks, guys. We'll see you when we see you.
Bye-bye.
Peace.